Celebrating 90 years, McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers has been there for generations of families for the highest quality in tire, service, and scheduled maintenance. With over 50 locations along the East Coast, our family is growing with yours. We are one of the top independent retailer dealers in the United States. You can visit us at any of our service centers in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Kingston, Hazleton, and Williamsport. Service your vehicle with a family you can trust. Make your family a part of the next generation of McCarthy Tire. Visit us on the web at mccarthytire.com.
State Farm offers discounts to young drivers for good grades and a positive driving record. Call Frank Sorokoch for more information about these discounts and other ways to reduce the insurance costs for young drivers. Like a good neighbor, Frank Sorokoch State Farm's office is there. Check out their new location at 186 East Tioga Street in Tunkhannock. Call 570-836-4000 for Frank Sorokoch State Farm.
Are you craving that homemade taste? Head over to our Carol and Janelle's in the new Takeaway Kitchen located on Main Street in Old Forge for over 50 years. When family and friends are looking to get away to dinner, head to the new Takeaway Kitchen at our Carol and Janelle's. As authentic as it gets. Eat in or pick up. Mouth-watering red and white pizza. Delicious pasta dishes. Scrumptious desserts. When family and friends come in, the best in your hospitality comes out. Head to Old Forge and visit our Carol and Janelle's where you can eat in or pick up at the new Takeaway Kitchen today.
So welcome to Schmidt Stadium at the Ralston Athletic Complex on GoWilkesU.com and on the John Mendola Show Network. I'm Tom Ferguson, getting you ready for Wilkes football. The Colonels playing host to Misericordia. It's week 4 of the college football season here in Northeast PA and the MAC. The Cougars come in at 1-1. They got a victory in the MAC, a 36-35 win over Widener last week. Exciting fashion there. Wilkes 1-2 on the season, 0-1 after a 21-10 loss to Delaware Valley. Let's get right to our interview with Coach John Drock ahead of today's matchup with Misericordia.
Welcome to the Wilkes football pregame show, getting ready for Wilkes and Misericordia. And as always, Coach John Drock joining us here on the Wilkes football pregame show. And Coach, your young team hung tough with a nationally ranked opponent on the road. I know the outcome wasn't exactly what you wanted, but how big a step forward was this for the program to play like that?
I think we had to make a couple plays down the stretch, and that'll be the real true test of us taking strides forward. For us, it was good to go in and play and know that we can be competitive in that venue. We controlled that football game. Yep. From start to finish. I thought we controlled the game. We just didn't finish in the red zone, not like we should have. Had we been able to do that, we may have been able to walk out there with a win. I think our kids knew that we'd be able to play with them all week, and it was no different when we showed up. You know what I mean? I think that's just a general belief thing more than anything else, is that they know we're going to be in close games. They know we're going to be in games down the wire. I've told them that all along. Yep. And it's rang true so far this season.
It's pretty clear that the offense really goes as far as Jose Tabora goes, which most of the time that works, but when he gets bottled up, who in your mind is the person that needs to emerge as that playmaker alongside him?
I mean, he touches the ball every play, so he's putting us in pretty good positions to be able to make plays, and he's very dynamic when the ball is in his hands.
Yep.
So we do need our backs, I think, to step up. The offensive line needs to step up and start to control some people up front a little bit more, and they played against a very, very talented defense in that Del Valle defense, so I was definitely proud of the effort, and I thought that everybody was assignment sound in what they did. They beat us physically once or twice, and they have some kids up front that are some different types of kids. So we just need to get a little bit bigger and stronger and then kind of control our controllables. And finish drives, like I said, we had opportunities to make plays in the red zone down there. Threw the ball late once or twice, missed open receivers, had opportunities to run the football and missed a scraping linebacker, that type of thing, where against good teams, you just can't do that.
Yeah, and you alluded, obviously, we've been talking about that. Why do you think that is? Is it just kind of a youth thing? Is it just...
No, I think that as a whole, it's learning a new system. Mm-hmm. It's playing against speed. It's very hard to simulate the speed of those types of teams in practice. And when you get to that environment and it's time to make a play, when you're a little off in your technique or you're a little off in your assignment, it's glaring because they capitalize on it that much more, especially when you play very talented teams like Del Valle.
Wilkes outgained Delaware Valley, and as we've talked about, and I really think the defense was impressive in the second half. They forced 4 straight punts for you guys. The offense got a few more chances. What did you think of the defense's performance?
I thought those guys bottled them up pretty well. I mean, they're the ones that gave us the ball back in let us have that drastic difference in time of possession. You know what I mean? I think they got them off the field on third down. For the most part, they bottled them up. They had a couple big plays, and Deshaun Darden's definitely a dynamic player. But at the same time, they bottled them up for the majority of the game. They came up and made tackles when they had opportunities to make tackles, and they didn't let those backs get outside of them. So I was definitely very, very pleased with how we played. We just got to eliminate some of those big plays, and one of them, the very first one, we actually had him wrapped up in the backfield, and he was able to break a couple tackles and make a really, really big play. You know, that's what dynamic all-conference players do, and he's definitely one of those types of kids. But this week we're going to play another very, very athletic quarterback who's very similar in his ability to run, if not quicker and stronger. So it's definitely going to be a huge emphasis for us to be able to stop the run this week.
The mantra and the feeling that I got seems to be no more moral victories from the guys on the bus, and even from some of the coaches, the way they were talking. The kids seem hungry. How have they responded from that kind of a tough loss on the road? How have they responded this week in practice?
Come back, and it's the same mindset every day, just to get a little bit better. And there aren't any more moral victories. I mean, we're not getting a pat on the back for playing a good team close. That game is a winnable football game that we should have won. I by no means think that was a better football team than what we have here at Wilkes. We outplayed them in every facet. We outcoached them in every facet, from special teams, defense, and offense. And for us to not win the football game was a difference of 2 or 3 plays that we need to clean up and execute those this coming week.
So you mentioned, obviously, Brady Williams, the quarterback from Misericordia. Let's turn to Misericordia. Not quite the blood feud that Wilkes has with Kings, but it's still pretty, especially when 2 schools that close, and it's been pretty lively and competitive. Misericordia's won the last 2 of the 3. They had a 30-point win at Misericordia last year. Is there a little extra juice and motivation for this week?
We've talked about it. We want to win the city of Wilkes-Barre. You know what I mean? We want to win the local area. It's very, very important in recruiting. Important in every facet of our program as we grow forward is to beat that school down the road and the school up the hill. I think for us, beating those 2 teams on an annual basis is going to be something we're going to be able to hang our hat on as we move forward, because if we want to be the best football team in Northeast Pennsylvania, it's going to go through those 2 football teams. And that's 100% our goal.
Coach Ross is in his 7th season there, and even though there's only 6 program victories, they obviously picked up one of the biggest wins in history. Pretty historic last second win over Widener last week. A game in which they had possession similar to you guys. They had it for 40 minutes. They really dominated with that. What's your initial impression of Misericordia?
I think they're very, very solid across the board. The quarterback, Brady Williams, is a good, talented athlete, and he creates some plays, and even when there's nothing there, he's able to create a positive play. Much, very, very similar to how Jose does things for us sometimes. I think that they have a talented group of wide receivers that have a little bit of length and can really run, and then some big physical backs. On the defensive side of the ball, their defensive line is strong and physical on the front. Their linebackers are strong physical kids, and they have some kids that can run on the back end. So they were obviously able to get the Widener off the field quite a bit, just the way our defense was able to get Del Valle off the field. And that allowed their offense to be methodical and move the football down the field and hold the ball for just over 40 minutes. I think they actually had more time in possession than we did, which is kind of crazy. But they're a very good football team. We're going to have a really good effort at home to be able to take them down.
So thanks to Coach Drock for joining us there. Talking about Misericordia, getting us ready for this contest between the Cougars and the Wilkes Colonels. Wilkes will be kicking right to left as we see it to start things off here. They won the toss and deferred, so it will be Misericordia starting with the football. Kelly and Yeager back to receive for the Cougars. Clayton Kelly, a senior receiver, and Nick Yeager, a senior defensive back. Wilkes in the baby blue uniforms, the gold numbers, the blue trim, the white pants with the gold trim, and of course their gold helmets. Misericordia counters in the away whites. They've got the blue pants with the gold trim, the blue shoulders, the white helmets with the yellow Cougar on the front. So here's the kick from Cutter-off, and we're underway. End over end kick taken by Yeager around his own 7-yard line. He brings this out across the 20, and Yeager's hit as he crosses the 25 down near the 27-yard line.
Across the 25-yard line.
So that's where Misericordia will start. From their own 27, it looks like. Right in the middle of the field. Misericordia 1-1 on the season. Their head coach, Mark Ross, his 7th season overall, 6-56 in his career with this young program, only 7 years in existence. 2 to the near side, 1 to the top. Brady Williams out of the shotgun, 1st and 10 from his own 27-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field, just going to hand it off underneath. That's Cromwell on the carry, and he brings it out near the 31-yard line, it looks like. So about 4 yards on the pickup.
On the carry, he'll get a few. 2nd down and 7.
This Misericordia offense averages 160 yards on the ground per game, 3 receivers to the near side. 350 total as an offense. Shotgun formation once again. Cromwell, sidecar to the right of Williams. He's got Gillison, the deep man, near side. Dieter and Williams in the slot. So 2nd and 6 here. Handoff on the inside, give Cromwell once again. He's hitting the backfield and taken down. Looked like that was Vinnie Werner on the stop.
Cromwell on the carry.
Werner actually might have been Trollinger on the stop there for Wilkes, a 2-yard loss.
Trollinger on the stop. 3rd down and 8. Loss of 1 on the play.
Brady Williams, the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, 28 for 47, 381 yards, and a touchdown so far this year through the air, but he has 2 touchdowns on the ground. Led a 70-yard game-winning drive from Misericordia against Widener. 2 receivers near side, 2 to the top. First 3rd down attempt of the game for the Cougars. 13:35 to go first quarter, no score. Here's the snap. RPO with Brady Williams. Tripped up and knocked down. It was Trollinger again on the stop.
Tackled by Trollinger.
A loss of about a yard on the carry.
4th down for the Cougars.
And that will force Misericordia to punt a great defensive series from the Colonels. Good start to this one. Chris Lynn is back to punt for Misericordia. And it will be Cadis standing at his own 30-yard line for Wilkes. So 4th and 9. Here's the snap. They get this off. It's an end-over-end kick that is off to the left side and will bounce out of bounds around the 41-yard line, and that's where Wilkes will take over. So 12:54 to go here in the first, and Wilkes is going to take over. Actually going to mark that at the 44-yard line. Great field position to start here for the Colonels. This is a Colonel offense that is very efficient. 28th in the country, 2nd in the conference, 3rd down percentage, 50%, and they've got 71 first downs. That's best for 14th in the country, 1st in the conference. They know how to churn out the yards. Shotgun for Jose Tabora. 2 sidecars, 1 to either side, 1 receiver to the top, 1 to the near side. The near side is Yannick. Stieber's the man to the top. It's going to be a handoff. It's going to be Wiley running off the left side. A lot of space as he cuts up the field in the Misericordia territory. Down at the 45. 11-yard pickup.
Jason Wiley starts things off for the Colonels.
So good one there. They've been using Wiley a lot more as the season's gone on. That's only his 6th rush. But a first down for the Colonels, and they're into Misericordia territory. Right to left. 1 receiver near side. 3 to the top. Tabora's going to go under center here. Looks like it's Wiley that's behind him in the single back. 4 down linemen for Misericordia. Quick pass to the outside. It's complete to Nelson. Nelson trying to get the edge, and he throws it. Stieber caught on the sideline. Stieber inside the 20, now inside the 10, and taken down inside the 5. Nelson connects with Stieber. A little trickeration from the Colonels.
Then Nelson to Stieber. Deep in Cougar territory.
On the 40-yard pass play to the 5-yard line. Not a bad-looking throw either from Nelson there. And now they're on the 5-yard line with a 1st and goal for Wilkes. Double tight ends to the right side, 1 tight end near side. So jumbo set, I formation, Wiley dots it. Tabora's under center. Misericordia stacking the box. Tabora gets the snap. Going to be a handoff. It's going to be Wiley trying to run off the right side. Pounds his way forward, and he's in. Touchdown. A perfect drive to start. Wiley caps it with a 5-yard touchdown run. And Wilkes, just like that, is on top first.
48.
About a minute and 21 seconds on that drive for Wilkes. That's about as good as it gets for the Colonels. Despirito on the kick, the extra point. That one's through. And the Colonels lead 7-0. 11:33 to go here. In the first quarter, it's Wilkes in front. You're listening to Wilkes Football on the John Mendola Show Network and GoWilkesU.com.
State Farm offers discounts to young drivers for good grades and a positive driving record. Call Frank Sorokoc for more information about these discounts and other ways to reduce the insurance costs for young drivers. Like a good neighbor, Frank Sorokoc State Farm's office is there. Check out their new location at 186 East Tioga Street in Tunkhannock. Call 570-836-4000 for Frank Sorokoc State Farm.
So the Colonels lead 7-0. After a 3-play drive that goes 1 minute and 21 seconds, 56 yards, and ends in a 5-yard touchdown for Jason Wiley. And of course, there was a 40-yard pass there from Derek Nelson to Jeff Stieber sandwiched in between. So the Colonels lead 7-0. Cutoff puts this one in the air. It's a high end-over-end kick that's going to bounce and spiral out of bounds around the 12-yard line. And that will give Misericordia possession at their own 35.
Flag down after the kickoff goes out of bounds.
So at 11:33 to go here. That's where Misericordia will take over after punting on their first possession.